Now, since I didn't do the summer forecast until July, I never did June, so I'm just gonna pull that from the Weather Channel. I was gonna talk about June, but I posted it late, so on May 18th, this was posted, the summer forecast. So for June, it was supposed to be near or slightly above average. July was supposed to be near or slightly above average. And August was supposed to be near or slightly above average. So the same. This article was in May, so it could be. Now for July and August, I was using a more updated one since I posted it late. That article was published in July. So for June, the average was 79.93 repeating for the high, and for the low it was 60.26 repeating. So the untypical June should be about low 80s for a high and around low 60s for the low. So June was average, and it said near or slightly above average, so that was accurate. Now for June, the average high was 75.6 in early June, 56.7. So early June was a bit cool. Middle June is a bit more average, 82.4 for the high, 61.1 for the low. So more of an average June. Mid-June was average, 81.8 for the high, low of 63. So mid to late July, mid-June was more average. Now for early June, it was a bit cooler. Now for the updated article, it said July was near or slightly above average. Now for August, it was near or slightly below average. That was from the updated article, and the old one said near or slightly above average. So let's see what the data was for July. So for July, it was very hot. The first day of July, 101 degrees. Wow. And the heat index was even higher than that. I believe 108. For July, the month's average was 87.80 for the high. The low was 66.58. So for without the 31st, the high would be 87.86. Now 86666666. That's 6 repeating. So 66.5 is the low without the 31st. So for July 1st to the 10th, the average high was 92.9, 67.9 for the low. Now for middle July, average high was 88, and the average low was 64.6. Now for late July, it was 82.7, and the low was 67. So for July, it was the warmest at the start of July. Middle July was still pretty warm. It cooled off slightly. Now the low was a bit cool, 64.6, and then the low warmed up at late July. So as the low warms up in late July compared to middle July, the high cools down at the end. July was very hot at the beginning. Now for July, it was pretty accurate, near or slightly above average. But let's look at the month average again. 87.80 all the days. 87.8, so about 88 degrees, let's round it to. 88 was the month's average for July. Now July should not be 88. It should be more like 84, maybe 85, but 88. So it was a bit above average, what it should be. Now some days were real above average. A couple days here and there. One day hit 100, 101. Now many were in the 90s, slightly above average to much above average is what it should have been. So it exceeded that. So it was a bit off. Now for August, it said near slightly below average, right, for the updated one. So let's see what the data was. Now August, I just completed the data. That's why I had to get that done today, so I can get this out. So for August, you'll see that on my Instagram as well. That'll be posted by the time this video is up. So for August, the month's average for August, 85.77, low is 68.25 without the 31st, 86.26 repeating, low 68.36 repeating, 85.7. So that was 86, let's say. So for August, it was supposed to be near or slightly below average. Now August, The average was 86 rounded, so it's a bit warmer than it should have been. More like 84, 85, so a bit warmer. Now for the lows, they're a bit warmer. If you average them out, it's 68. So a bit warmer than it should be, and the highs are a bit warmer than it should be. So I believe near or slightly below average wasn't really the case. It then ended up being more of an average to slightly above average August. So for August, it was a bit of a roller coaster as well as July. For August 1st to August 10th, the average of that was 90. August was the warmest at the start. And then it cools off a bit in the middle, with the average being 82.5. So August 11th to the 20th, the average was 82.5 and the low was 68.3. Now for the end of August, the 21 to the 30th, 86.2 is the high, 66.8 for the low. Now for August 1st to the 10th, the average high was 90.1, the low was 70. So it was a bit warm at the start. In the middle it cooled off, and then it started warming up again at the end. But the average low was actually cooler in the end of August than in middle August. Interesting stuff. Well, that has been your summer in review. That's the first time I've ever reviewed a season. I usually forecast ahead and never look back. So this time we have looked back at summer, and maybe I'll be looking at some other seasons. So let me know if you like this type of video, looking back instead of looking forward. I'm always looking forward. What's spring going to be like? How about we look back and see if it was even accurate? Because we never even think to do it. So let me know if you like this kind of thing, looking back into the past and seeing how it was compared to what the forecast was. Was it accurate? Was it not? So let me know if you like that kind of video idea. Now, like this video if you thought it was good, subscribe if you want to see more, make sure the bell icon is on for notifications. I will see you Friday for your 7-day forecast. So, bye.